Well, hey there, couples. Today I'm in the studio with Julie, and we're talking about a tough subject because we're talking about miscarriage and the will of God. Now, Julie, you've written a blog article on this. We'll put a link to that below if you want to check out that blog. Some really good stuff. But just tell us real quick why this is so near and dear to your heart.
Okay. I've gone through several miscarriages, 3 to be exact. And through the process of going through these miscarriages, I've had to come under the Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. And that trust in your Lord with all your heart, I can remember coming home from the hospital after having gone through the procedures you have to go through after you lose a child, just quoting that, like almost in a fetal position, just quoting that, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path.
Trying to talk yourself into it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you, because that is what I was doing. Because I couldn't understand why God would allow me to go through this kind of pain when we prayed so hard, when we dedicated this child, when we were going to be the kind of parents that would rear this child to love the Lord and to serve Him. Why would He take them from us? And so to get to a point where you're not just saying it to be saying it, but to really believe it and to understand it is a process. And I think women need to understand, and couples need to understand that it is a process. And this was 25 years ago, 26, 27 years ago, and I still get emotional thinking about it. So don't ever think that oh, I just had that just happened, and then you have to cover it up and be fake about it and put on this fake Christian strength that you really don't have. So
and it was a process for you and your husband.
We're
absolutely talking about this for couples, not just for women.
Right, so and it was. I remember my husband telling me one time, as he's in the waiting room in the middle of the night, as I'm having some surgery done afterwards, and he's all alone because we didn't know a lot of people at the time where we were living, and he said he felt like he had just been, like his 4-year-old child, had just been hit by a Mack truck, and when you're going through, when you lose a child in miscarriage, you don't always look at it like that. Or people who don't understand it don't understand that loss is that painful. So it is definitely as much for the husband as it is for the wife. But many people have heard the country star Lady Antebellum, and she has written a Christian album, and she has a song on there called Thy Will Be Done. And that's where the blog kind of got inspired when I heard these words, and I want to say, because they're so powerful. Yeah, read them. And it's hard to understand that my broken heart was part of your plan. Thy will be done. I know you see me. I know you hear me. Your plans are for me. Goodness you have in store. So it's like, I know in your head, but how do you get what you know in your head into your heart? And I've had to pray those words over and over and over, and Thy will be done. Thy will be done.
Do you feel like, Julie, that you're still, 26 years later, was there a point at which where you felt like, okay, that you were settled? You had some peace. Yes. And it was not right away, but I think the first time that I was able to help another woman go through her loss. It's been when I've been able to sit down with my sister-in-law who lost her 21-year-old daughter to illness, that I was able to understand. It's not quite the same. It isn't at all. And I would never compare grief. I would never do that. Everybody's grief is different, and some is more intense than others. But I was able to really understand and go there with her. I understand, I guess, through the years and through going through hard, difficult times, God gets you through them. And so when the next difficult time comes, it's a little bit easier to kind of go there and trust, because you've seen that, okay, I know his plan is divine, and I'm able to see on the back end why He put me through that. And I'll tell you honestly, by their second miscarriage, I was angry. I was very angry, and not by our third, I was extremely angry. I was like, why is He putting me through this? I don't, if this is going to make me more godly, I don't want to be more godly. That was just my honest response. But He showed me such grace and such mercy and such love, and I would have never experienced that had I not gone through that hard time. I would have never experienced what it feels like in the middle of the night to wake up and to feel His warmth presence in my heart, just comforting me, his comfort, not people's comfort, but I experienced a real comfort from him, and his Holy Spirit's just arms around me, you know, and it felt that. And I would have never had that experience had I not gone through the loss. So there's a lot of things that going through loss helps you get closer to God. And that was just the way he intended for me to get closer to him. And the nice thing about it is one day I know I'll see those babies. So they're my little angels in heaven.
Tell us one more thing. You write about this yellow dress in your blog. And just to kind of as a parting word for couples that might be watching this, struggling through this, explain that.
Okay. When I was 7 months pregnant with our baby, Alexis, I had a baby shower given by some ladies from our church and came home with all these boxes. And Ashley, my middle daughter, was about 3 years old at the time. And her eyes just lit up and she's like, boxes, presents, you know. And I was like, how's she going to handle all these presents being for her little sister and not for her? And she handled it like a champ. And so we're going through the boxes and she's looking at everything. Well, she opens this one and this beautiful little yellow dress comes out and it's got little tiny purple flowers. And she's like, oh, Mom, her eyes just light up. When this dress gets bigger, can I wear it? And she was so precious and so innocent and so excited for her little sister and too. And so that was all good, but can I, you know, wear it? And my heart just broke because she's having to look at all these presents for somebody else. And then she asks if this dress could be hers one day. And I had to say, no, honey, that dress will never fit you. It won't get older. And she just took it and she kind of had a scowl on her face like she was trying to process that. She puts it back in the box, put the covers, you know, the box lid on, goes to the baby's room and puts it in the drawer and shuts it and never says another word about it. Well, I grabbed my car keys and took her little hand and we went shopping and I bought her own dress for her. And I feel like that's what God does for us a lot of times. Is many times he says, no, that's not intended for you. It's intended for someone else. But here, I have something better for you. I have something that's all your own. And I think many times, you know, with loss with children, I would so many times look at other women with their babies, you know, and being moms. And I'm like, when's it going to be my turn? And God would just say, I've got something for you. You just have to trust me. This is not for you, but I have something even better. And so when we hope for a different outcome only to be disappointed and disillusioned, I think we have to take that, once we can get that strength, you know, to kind of pick ourselves back up, because there is some realism in there. You're going to be down. You're going to be, you may even fall into some depression. You may just fall into this why me? And but you will get that strength to get kind of yourself back up. And these are all kind of practical points because this is real. This is what happens. You're going to get to that point where you understand that when it comes to understanding thy will be done, it's kind of like this. Kind of like you're at an intersection waiting your turn to get in. You have to yield and let those cars go, and then it's your turn. Well, in our walk with the Lord, I believe we have to yield ourselves for God to go. And so look at it as that, as we're letting God go first and trust in his divine plan, because he's got a divine plan for us. We just have to trust in what that is and follow with that. And you know what? Joy will come. It may take time, but joy will come. And I think in closing, you have to embrace what God has entrusted you with. Embrace it. And some of that, and sometimes it's going to be pain, but you even have to embrace that pain, because joy will come in the end. And joy isn't the absence of pain, but the presence of God. And so we know that peace will replace anxiousness, not because your circumstances have changed, but because your heart has changed. And so, so thy will be done, and the saying to the creator of the universe is saying, you go. Because I love that I say that a lot to God. I'm not just, you go, God, you go, and I'll stay back. And I think we have to do that many a times when we don't understand why he's doing things in our lives.
Well, it's a hard story to have gone through it, but it's beautiful how you're able to share. And I'm sure there are a lot of couples who are watching this video right now. This is exactly what they needed to hear. So we encourage you just to use the questions below so that you can talk about this. Hopefully you have a marriage mentor, or even just talk about this with your spouse. And we'll see you in the next video.